If you wanted to find a speaker that brings a traditional British audio sound, but with a few twists along the way, and also comes in a really cool and unique style, great variety of finishes, and just does things all around a little bit differently than most of the competition, welcome to the Monitor Audio Gold Series. Now, before I get into all the details of what I think sets the speaker apart a little bit, makes it kind of a unique anomaly, and I mean that in the best way, don't forget to subscribe to the Gramophone channel and click that bell icon down below so you won't miss out. And here is your question of the day. It's going to relate to a little cool thing on this speaker. What's actually your favorite type of tweeter? There's a whole bunch of them, but what's your favorite? So for a little background on Monitor Audio, they are in fact an English audio company, like many other famous names out there. One thing I really like about Monitor is that on their higher end products, they're not afraid to try a few new things or employ new technologies, but they do it well. And one of my favorite things about all of their product lines is how very easy it is to understand and to implement into your home, no matter what it is you're trying to do. Monitor's got a lot of cool tech in here, and they use some really standout materials that I think helps lend to the overall sound of these products. If you take a look at this woofer, this is what's known as a CCAM woofer. CCAM referring to the fact that it is ceramic coated aluminum magnesium. As we know, aluminum is a very lightweight metal that's always been good for audio. Magnesium even more so, though sometimes its expense and difficulty of manufacture can be an issue. Makes for one heck of a woofer, and I really like what this mid-bass is capable of. This speaker is a little bit more capable in the mid-bass department than I'd say some other offerings of a similar size and price range, and I think a lot of that comes down to driver technology. Going along with that, take a look at the top of the speaker and notice something unique. That would be the tweeter. This is what Monitor calls an MPD tweeter, or pleated diaphragm. And basically what it is rather than using a dome shape, which is going to vibrate in and out the way much like a woofer does, this is a stretched out piece of material that is very thin and very low in mass. And then it has little pleats in it, much like an accordion. And so you stretch it in and out like an accordion. And the reason that this design is so effective is because you get a lot more surface area, but in a design that ultimately stays really small. And because it's such a low mass transducer, you get a lot of speed. And I tend to find that tweeters like this have a lot of what we in the industry call air. And by air, I mean the fact that the high frequency reproduction of a tweeter like this is really far reaching and detailed, but it generally isn't very fatiguing, even though it comes with a lot of detail. And that's because the low mass lends itself to really low distortion. Another thing that Monitor Audio does that I personally find very unique is how they do the port. So rather than just having an open round port in the back, it looks like that at first, but there's actually little lines cut into this that are gonna break up some of that energy as it comes out. That way you get a great bass response by having a ported speaker, but you also avoid some of the issues of a ported speaker like chuffing and other sounds that can be produced by fast moving air through a small enclosure. And they refer to this specific technology as the Hive port. Another really cool thing about this speaker is the cabinet design. Monitor actually takes their tweeters and their mid-ranges and uses a very large, very long bolt from the back of the cabinet that you can actually see on the back. And you can even go in and tighten this should it ever loosen over time. And because of this feature, you get a speaker that suffers very little cabinet variation. For that reason, you get a lot less distortion, especially as time goes on. You also get a product that's going to stand up and last a little bit longer, since it's easy to tune this right back in. This is a very nice leather-like material on the top that contrasts nicely against the bright ebony wood finishing of the speaker. And you can get this in a few different colors. There's the ebony, there's a darker mahogany that isn't so bright looking, and there is also a white and a black. And one thing about the white that is pretty cool, as opposed to being a glossy or piano white, it's actually just matte. And I've noticed that speakers in a matte white look particularly good. But as far as the wood finishes go, the gloss ebony is wonderful. The other thing worth noting on the speaker is that it is a 4 ohm speaker, so you will need an amp that's capable of playing down into load impedance. but it's not particularly difficult to drive. Just something that you should keep in mind. If you're running a receiver at home, you're going to want to make sure it's one of the better receivers out there that has stable amps. For a price of $2,300 for the pair, the Monitor Audio Gold 100 I think actually competes with some bookshelves in the $3,000 range just as well, but for a lot cheaper. You're getting a speaker that's very nicely finished, very interesting modern design with the soft corners, and is using some of the best technologies yet developed in speakers. So if the Monitor Audio Gold 100, or any other in the series for that matter, sounds like something that would intrigue you, or that profile of sound I described is something that you enjoy, definitely swing by and give them a listen. You'll find us in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg, and we'd love to demo them for you. You'll also find our beautiful Kitchen Design Center in Hunt Valley, and they do great designs. All right, everybody, really appreciate you stopping by today. Please give this video a like if you had a good time and you felt like you learned something. In the comment section down below, I'd love to talk to you about any other questions you might have. Please let me know what you'd like to see us review in the future. Once again, thanks for swinging by. Be seeing you.